and welcome back to this channel. If you're new to the channel, then I am Natalie. I'm a body image coach and I help women who are struggling with low self-worth go from endlessly yo-yo dieting and trying to chase this ideal body, this perfection, to actually feeling happy, comfortable and confident in the skin they're in. Now, I use my Happy Me framework to do that, which helps people to make peace with their bodies, to talk to themselves with kindness, and to actually create a life that we get excited to wake up for in the morning, and it's not filled with dread or worry or anxiety about how we look, our body shape, our size, or any of that. So today I want to talk about needing the approval and compliments of other people to feel good. Now look, we all want to be accepted, we want to fit in, and we all need to be loved. It's part of a human thing. But what can happen sometimes when we struggle with low self-worth, particularly around our bodies and having a negative body image, is we can seek out validation, compliments, approval from other people, whether that's society, friends, strangers, partners, family members, whoever. We need other people, and I know I definitely used to need other people to tell me I looked good, to tell me I was doing well with things, because without that, I didn't believe it was true. So for me to feel good in myself, whether that was about something I was doing or my capabilities or about my physical appearance, I only felt that way if somebody else told me. And that led me to endlessly need it, endlessly chase this validation. And the problem with that is, more than often, it leads us to actually feeling miserable. Because what happens is this need for approval from other people ends up overriding our actual happiness and actually overrides our ability to just be ourselves and actually sometimes know who we are in general. It's so focused on how we look and needing other people to tell us we look good, we lose sight of everything else. So it is really, really important to be able to start to approve of ourselves, to start not needing other people to tell us we look good. We don't need that external validation. We need to start being able to validate ourselves. Because if we need other people all the time, then what happens if no one's around? What happens if we rely on a partner or be in a relationship to be considered attractive or feel confident in ourselves or like our bodies, and then we're not in one? Can we not like our bodies anymore? Do we constantly feel unsure and unconfident and end up getting into relationships that maybe aren't right for us to just seek that validation again? And what is that validation we get is when we are restricting and reducing what we're eating and really, really struggling, hammering the gym and actually living really, really unhealthy lives to try and look a certain way. Then what happens is we stay in that and we try and maintain that, feeling worse about ourselves and damaging our health and our well-being physically, mentally, emotionally, again and again and again, simply on this endless pursuit of other people's approval. And in society these days, look, what our bodies should look like changes with the seasons. So you're going to endlessly be chasing a new look, the new fashion of body. And we are not, our bodies aren't a fashion. So often when we seek the approval of others all the time, we actually do so at a sacrifice to ourselves. We become so obsessed with what other people think about us, whether we're accepted by other people, whether they think we look good, that we actually forget about what is really, really important to us. And when we have to seek the approval of other people to feel good, what we are basically doing is giving them control over how we feel about ourselves. And what that does is, over time, it diminishes our self-esteem. And our self-esteem is vital, for getting the most out of our lives, for feeling happy, for feeling more confident in ourselves. So we have to get that validation from ourselves and ourselves only. Now look, we all like a compliment. I love a compliment, but we shouldn't need to have them to feel good. And that is the difference. Want a compliment, enjoy it, don't need it. Because we are the only people who are 100% going to be guaranteed consistent in our lives. So if we give our self-esteem, if we give our power away for how we feel about ourselves to someone else, then we are vulnerable and we are volatile. So we need to build up how we feel about ourselves from ourselves. So look, first, I just want to very briefly deep dive into the self-awareness of whether you are seeking approval too much from other people. Okay, because the first step to be able to sort it out is to actually know we are doing it. And sometimes we can actually not be aware of how much we're doing it and how much of an impact it's actually having. So some of the things you might be doing right now, which are damaging your self-esteem and actually lowering your body image and your body confidence, could be always needing to ask other people if they think you look good before you go out. Okay, if you are asking a lot of people, you can't go shopping on your own because you don't trust yourself to decide whether you look good in the changing rooms. If you are allowing other people to decide what you wear and what looks good. If you are constantly thinking about what other people think about you and what you look like. If you find yourself restricting, over-exercising, doing anything with your diet, your food, or basically just manipulating your habits and your behavior in order to impress, be accepted, or join in with other people. And the crux of it is, if you need someone else to say you look good, for you to feel good. So look, there are so many benefits to taking your power back and starting to learn to approve and validate yourself than getting it from other people. And what I want to do today is I want to just give you some things to think about and some questions to sit down, spend some time with, make some notes around for you to start to be able to move away from needing the approval of other people and slowly but surely build your own self-confidence and your own self-esteem and just be more trusting in yourself and more confident and accepting of yourself, not just as in your body, but in yourself altogether. So the first one is to just be honest with yourself. Okay, what do you really want and what do you need? So when you are asking someone perhaps, how do I look? Does this look good? Does my bum look big in this? What do you want from them? Okay, and why is it you need it? Okay, really start to get honest about the impact of that question. Okay, what happens when they give you an answer you don't like? Okay, what if they said your bum does look big in that? How does that make you feel? Really understand and get honest with what you are trying to get from other people, why you feel that you need that, and the significance and the impact that that is having on not only how you feel about yourself, but also the ripple effect of your behaviors. And like I said before, often the problem can be that we lose our sense of self. So when we are really, really focusing on what we look like, and that is, it's all encompassing. We think about it all the time. To be honest, it's borderline obsessive. Okay, we body check all the time. We need that validation. Okay, we're always looking for reassurance. We're often not thinking about the other things that we have going for us. We're not thinking about our skills, our qualities, the things people like about us. We start to believe that the only thing valuable about us is how we look. So I want you to start to tune outside of that, okay? I want you to turn the dials on the radio and I want you to start tuning into what actually makes you happy, okay? What lights you up? What do people compliment you on that isn't around your physical appearance? What things make you feel good when you're doing them? What do you think you're good at? I want you to start making a really, really long list, hopefully a long list. And if it's not a long list, do not worry, you can build up on it. But what makes you happy? What non-physical compliments do you get? What skills have you got? What qualities have you got? Okay, what are you good at? What makes you feel good? And I want you to make a big list of those things, okay? Because your identity is not tied up in what people think of you, whether people approve of you or not. And it's not tied up in your physical appearance, okay? Your identity is you. And you are so much more than a body. You've heard that quote before. And all the things you're writing down there are all the things that you are, okay? Your identity is not pinned on one thing. And most importantly, I want you to start changing the way you talk to yourself. This is really important, okay? We need to start building that self-compassion. We need to start talking kinder to ourselves. And we need to start challenging those little voices that tell us we need the approval, that tell us we need that validation, okay? And I want you to really, really spend some time with that. And if you want to work on either hearing some affirmations, I have a little video on self-love affirmations that you can just go and listen to. It's just 10 self-love affirmations to just get you building that affection towards yourself, okay? And if you want to ideally create your own affirmations which come directly from the negative things that you say to yourself, okay, the negative voice in your head that you're trying to balance out, with that compliment or validation from someone else, then check out the video here and go and watch Creating Your Own Affirmations, okay? Because it takes time to change that little voice in our heads, but it is really, really important to do, because often we're using the compliments of the people, the validation from other people, to do that for us. So if we want to be able to build our own self-esteem and our own self-worth, we need to start doing that ourselves. We need to be able to hear a negative thought, counteract it and move on, and not have to have the external source of validation in order for us to feel good about that.